What up everyone, it's your boy Xmanny87 here, bringing you another Marvel Legends video, and what I have for you today is the Marvel Legends X-Men Wave Bonebreaker Build-A-Figure Series Sabretooth Action Figure Review. Before I get into everything, if you could please leave a thumbs up, like rating on the video, it'll help show your support for my channel and I greatly appreciate it. Now, with that said, let's go! So this look is based off of Sabretooth's first appearance in Iron Fist number 14 back in 1977 and was created by Chris Claremont and John Byrne. Initially, Sabretooth was supposed to be a recurring villain for Iron Fist, but was later introduced into the X-Men comics during the Mutant Massacre crossover in 1986. And the rest is history, as he became not only a household name in X-Men, but became one of Marvel's major supervillains, appearing in other major titles such as Spider-Man. So let's talk about this head sculpt on Sabretooth, and one thing I gotta point out is that it's not the faithful classic Sabretooth looking head, because that one had wider hair, even wider mutton chops. Instead, back in the 90s, they did the Sabretooth Classic Volume, where it involved 15 issues, and they were basically reprints of Sabretooth's early guest appearances in chronological story order, starting with his second appearance in Power Man and Iron Fist issue 66. And it was that last issue, number 15, where this look is pretty much spot on. If they were going for it, then they got it, and therefore they got me, because this is pretty freaking cool. Because I remember that very gummy grin, and yeah, this guy has a very gummy grin. And as you can see, he has his eye pupils there. I would have preferred all white pupils, so therefore for me, I like the Toy Biz one better. But yeah, the Hasbro team took a different direction with this head sculpt, to me it seems. But I mean, look at the sculpting on the hair. That looks terrific, you know, like the thin kind of stringy hair that we get here with the wash in them. Those crazy bushy looking eyebrows. The wrinkles really brings out that expression. That underbite is serious right there, and I like the fangs there too. So overall, man, I still think this is a really good head sculpt. Adding the white pupils would have definitely made me love this a lot more. Doesn't this dude look like Willem Dafoe, right? Like he's about to tell Wolverine, Jean Grey and I, we're gonna have a hell of a time. And we're gonna do it nice and slow. Sorry, I couldn't help myself, but when I have the opportunity to do voiceover, I will. But yeah, Sabretooth totally sounds like he would say something like that to Wolverine, but this looks great. I like how this ear sticks out over here, and this this ear here. Can it hear here? I don't know. Can it? I don't know. But I like how it's hidden underneath the hair. And I was thinking, hey, is it not aligned properly? And everything is aligned properly. I think it's meant to be like that. Which is cool, because it feels like his hair is supposed to be all over the place. And then let's take a look at this fur right here. This is so nice. I do appreciate the wash there. And it looks like he's been through some snow, or, you know, not even that. It's just a nice looking fur. Like the sculpting on it. It is layered, so it is plugged onto the back. You can remove it, so if you want to take it off, you can. It does make him look a little bit slimmer, but then again, options, those are always good to have. And for someone like me who's a big Sabretooth fan, really appreciates this body mold. It's not really used a lot. It's based off the Grim Reaper body mold, and I can't remember the last time they used it on a new character. Maybe Red Guardian or the Vault Guardsman. Well, they had a newer upper torso, but yeah, I mean, either way, it's good to see it again, and it works for this figure. It just does. The more I posed it, the more I realized, hey, this is not that bad of a body buck. I had a lot of fun posing this around. Sure, he could have been a bit bigger, you know, but for a first appearance Sabretooth, this physique here captures his look in that spectacular Spider-Man issue number 116. Like, it's the same stature, so I am not mad at all. Again, different artists, different depictions, but for his classic look, I'm okay with this. And even though he doesn't come with any accessories, you ever look at a figure and say, alright, accessories aside, is it still a good figure? And yes, this is still a good figure. To me, he's a lot more fun to pose and better to pose than the classic 90s Sabretooth in the Hyperion body mold. Yo, why my man's looking like the Giant Gonzalez from the WWF? His costume pattern with the brown strip going down to his undies. You know, nothing much at the back. But then you got the fur pieces right here on the forearms, which came out looking nice. Again, you get that nice detailed wash in there. And when you bend the elbows a bit, you get this orange joint that just extends. It's not like what they did right here on the bottom of his feet, where at the calves they just added a layered piece. So I think they could have done that here. It doesn't bother me though. But let's get to these hands. Look at these claws, man. They look so great. So these are new hands, new claws, and they really paid attention to Sabretooth's features and attributes, because his nails, his claws and toenails are supposed to be 3 inches long. And, you know, that looks pretty accurate here for this body. It definitely looks like they are 3 inches long for his body frame. And, wow, they really killed it here. That, I appreciate the accuracy there. Yeah, I appreciate this figure more than I thought it would. And the rest of his legs, boots with the fur, just open-toed shoes, and, you know, the fur looks great. Again, I really like the wash. And serial number at the bottom of the feet, which I do appreciate. Alright, so I did a head swap with the 90 Sabretooth, and, well, damn, it doesn't look that bad. The head is a little on the big side, but let me see if I can put the furry piece from that other Sabretooth, since it's a lot bigger. Maybe it'll make it blend more. Okay, alright, I can see this being doable with like up close shots and playing with perspectives. Man, I just love the white pupils. Oh, I just wish we had an alternate head with the white pupils. That would have been nice. And if you wanted to have a unmasked version of a 90s Sabretooth, I think this could work real well. Wow, I actually like this. Alright, now for the fun stuff, articulation. So his head moves about that far up, that's real good, and it moves that far down, and you got some tilting action too. His arms move that far up, so you can get a straight T-pose with him, nothing higher than that. They move down, they rotate all around, you got the bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, nice range right there, and swivel on the wrist, hinge at the wrist. Ab crunch moves that far forward, but for some reason I have this extra crunch, but it springs back. You see that? Crunch, springs back. Crunch, springs back. Never had this issue on a figure like this. I mean, the only time I can think of was one of the Pizza Spider-Man body molds. That's where I had that issue. I had that kind of springy effect, but have you guys ever had an issue with any other bodies like this where it just springs back? Weird. But it moves that far back, swivel at the waist, his legs spread that far apart. You're not going to get much of a wide stance with him, but you're going to have to rely on those outward kicks, so it does kick up that far, and it kicks that far back. You got the legs that rotate around, you got the thigh swivel, double jointed knees, but no heel to the freaking Sabretooth butt, and you got the ankles that move that far up, that far down, and it rotates all around. Now for some comparisons, gotta start it off where it all began, so here is Sabretooth next to Naked Sexy Iron Fist. Here is our first appearance Sabretooth next to the first appearance Wolverine, or as he likes to call him, Runt. Crazy to think that I never took photos of Wolverine and Sabretooth fighting each other, which is probably another reason why I had so much fun with this figure, so be sure to check out the photos at the end. As Wolverine's arch nemesis, shame on me for never doing that before. Here is Sabretooth next to the retro symbiote Spider-Man. Some of Spider-Man's best battles are with X-Men characters like Sabretooth here, and especially Juggernaut. So underrated. Spidey's fight with Magneto was also enjoyable. Here he is next to his 90s Jim Lee version. Lastly, here he is next to his fellow wave mate, Havoc. Havoc review is up to bat. And now to wrap things up, my final rating is a 7.5 out of 10. Gotta say that this figure caught me by surprise because I wasn't expecting it to be better than what I saw in the promo images. That's why it's always better to judge on hand. This first appearance version still doesn't beat the Toy Biz version for me. That to me was the definitive first appearance look and had all the paint, sculpt, and articulation. Marvel Selects failed on their version by making it way too big on chicken ankles. No accessory hurts it, but since the figure wasn't nailed all the way anyways, I'll take the hit to make that Bonebreaker bath more epic. Even though it doesn't come with accessories, and then comparing it to the Toy Biz, which also didn't have accessories, Just going by the figure itself, the Toy Biz is still a good figure, and this is still a good figure to me, but comes up short from being great. I'm not letting Hasbro off the hook. It's not okay to exclude accessories. Every figure needs to come with one and not leave it bare bones. At the end of the day, John Byrne drew this Sabretooth to be mean, lean, and ferocious, not the hulking brute like in the 90s. As I showed you images before that, this body best depicts that of his physique in Spectacular Spider-Man. I'm still very appreciative with some of the comic features and traits they implemented onto this figure. Since I already have a Sabretooth in my X-Men shelf, I wanted to put this Sabretooth in either my Spider-Man side villains shelf or super villains shelf. If you have the Toy Biz one, you can pass on this one. If you have the Selects, you can also pass on this too. If you don't have this one or the other two I mentioned, then you have other first appearance options for you. It's totally up to you if you want it or not. For me, I let my photography speak for itself. Now I kick it back to you. What do you think of this first appearance Sabretooth? Are you copying or passing? Hopefully they make it up with a 90s Jim Lee version on the Omega Red body. Comment below, let me know, we'll chat about it. That was my review. Please follow me on Instagram at xmanny87. Hit the notification bell so you always know when my latest videos are up. Share and subscribe if you're new. Enjoy the pics at the end of the video. See you on the next review. Peace, peace.